Good morning, friends. Paul Green here, Comedians Commute. It is Friday, April 17th. Tonight is the big night. I am headlining at Tempe Center for the Arts. I'm looking forward to that. I will be joined by fellow local comedians Valerie Roberts and Michael Longfellow, both good friends of mine. I've performed with them several times before. It's going to be a great show. Yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine and she asked, more or less, how did I get here? And it's kind of a fun story. There was a series of events that really led up to tonight. And it starts about 4 years ago. This new girl showed up to my church, and I was interested. So I took her out. We had a good date. She didn't really seem too interested, but, we had a good time, but it's not like she was hearing wedding bells or anything. But anyway, she ended up going away to college about a month later, so even if she was into me, we never would have really had time to develop a relationship anyway. But I kind of kept her on the back of my mind, and she was up to college. I think she graduated after 3 years. And I remember randomly texting her, just checking in with her, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm graduating, and then she was going to move back down into town. So I was like, sweet. So when she moved back, I asked her out again, and she consented. So I was trying to find something for her and I to do, and I took to the interwebs for things to do in Arizona on a Friday night. And I was on azcentral.com, and number 30, there was just this menu. I was just clicking next, and it was just an event, and nothing really stood out to me. But number 30 was a stand-up comedy show with Amy Blackwell, and it said clean comedy show or something like that. And I knew she would be one who would not appreciate a comedy show that was not clean. So I was like, sweet, clean comedy show. I checked out a couple YouTube videos of Amy Blackwell. She was really funny. And I was like, awesome, we're going to go see a clean comedy show for our date Friday night. So I pick her up. We go to the comedy show. And on the seat is a little slip of paper that says, if you want to join our email list, give us your name and email, and a little pencil. So I was like, oh, cool, I'll get on an email list. Find out what comedy shows are going on. So that was the Tempe Center for the Arts. It was Amy Blackwell performing at the Tempe Center for the Arts. So I'm there with this girl named Caitlin. I fill out the email slip, or the slip of paper, give them my email address. Watched the show. The show was funny, and didn't really think much of it. So about 2 months or so later, I get an email from Tempe Center for the Arts from the email list, and it was advertising an upcoming comedy class or for stand-up comedy. And it was intro to stand-up comedy, no experience required or whatever. And I was kind of at a point where I was thinking, maybe I should try stand-up. I had done improv comedy for quite a while, but I had never really given a real stab at stand-up comedy. So I was like, all right, I'll sign up for the class. Or there was a free intro, so you could go to this free intro class and check it out. So I decided to go check it out. So I go to the free intro class, which was at Tempe Center for the Arts. And that's when I first met Tony Visick. He was the teacher. And he started talking about comedy and stand-up and all these different things, and I felt encouraged. It's okay, I'll join the class. So I joined the class and started doing stand-up, and it was through that class and through that process that not only did I meet Tony, that I became familiar with his comedy series where he produces shows. And that was about a year ago. June was my was my first show. So we're April now, so it's been almost a year. And as I started to do those classes and performing at Tempe Center for the Arts, I started gaining more material, gaining more confidence. Tony started booking me for more shows around town. And most recently, he asked me to headline at Tempe Center for the Arts myself tonight. So who knows? Maybe if you go to azcentral.com, I'll be like the 30th person on the list. I don't know if that's the case. I haven't looked into it. But so that's how it all started. It all started with me wanting to try to find something fun to do on a date with this girl and signing up on an email list. So for all of you marketers out there, email campaigns do work. I was actually thinking about that because the comedy class that I do, it recurs every 5 weeks. And so every 5 weeks I pay a fee again to take the class. And I was like, man, I've been taking that class for almost a year. So I've contributed some, a decent chunk of revenue to the comedy class there, all based off of me giving them one email address. So anybody out there who doesn't believe in email marketing, there's one testimonial for you. I have to say that because at Infusionsoft, a big portion of what we do is email marketing. So anyway, that is how that's the domino path right there as to how I ended up headlining at Tempe Center for the Arts tonight. Really looking forward to it. I've been going over and over my set. I, of course, will probably never feel completely ready. I don't think you ever really feel completely ready. You just do the best you can. You rehearse as much as you can, and then there just comes a point to where you're like, all right, I gotta go on stage now and see what happens and give it a go. So that's the point I'm at now. So it's going to be a fun show. I'm looking forward to it. I was hoping that the girl that was the catalyst for this all, the girl I went out with a couple of years ago and then who I took to see Amy Blackwell last year, could come, but she can't. She's in her own show. But that's all right. And wow, it is only 7, almost 8 minutes into my drive, and I'm almost at work. Traffic was really light today. It's probably everybody took the day off because they're coming to my show tonight, and that's kind of like a holiday. They're like, well, we can't go to work. We need to just take the day off and go to Paul's show. I got to be honest, I totally wish I could have taken the day off today and gone through my comedy set like 5 more times, but I gotta work for the man still, at least for the time being. Who knows? Who knows what could happen tonight? Maybe some producer will show up, be like, Paul, I want to give you millions of dollars to make a comedy show. And I would say, okay. Not planning on that. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, tonight is really just like one small, like really small step in a path. I mean, it takes years and years and thousands of performances and thousands of hours of refining sets and pounding pavement if anybody ever is going to make it in the entertainment industry. And there are people who even invest that amount of time and still don't make it. It's a lottery ticket, no matter how you look at it. But if you don't have a lottery ticket, the chances of winning are 0. So anyway, that is my story for today. This is Paul Greens with comedianscommute.com, paulgreencomedy.com. Come to Tempe Center for the Arts tonight, 7:30. It's just going to be $8 if you use the promo code TONY, Tony. And I will not be talking to you again until Monday on my next commute. So I will talk to you then. Have a good one.